Hello and blessings, my beautiful souls. How are you today? Today I would like to share with you some of the decks that I have been working with during this Australian summer. Right now it is an absolute scorcher. I have never felt this much heat in Tasmania, and I live in southern Tasmania for that matter, which is one of the coldest parts of Australia, and yet it is sweltering right now. Nevertheless, I find that when it comes to tarot decks, I have a natural inclination to connect the decks that I am using with the seasons that I am sort of sensing and feeling. And what I mean by that is, even though sometimes it is summer, there might still be a chill breeze, there might still be a cold day, there might still be one of those days within summer that makes me want to grab a jumper or curl up next to my fire or do those types of things, in which case I tend to shift the decks that I reach for and go for something that is a little bit more attuned with the atmosphere that I am in. Right now, these are summery decks, and I know that the northern part of our world is immersed in a beautiful winter right now, and I thought that, well, let's have a look at some of the summer decks and maybe it might distract you from the bitter cold that you may be experiencing at this time of the year. So let's get stuck into it. First of all, I wanted to share with you the Hush Tarot. I have been working with the Hush Tarot on those days that I previously described, you know, the days that feel a little bit more autumn and winter. This is the backing of the Hush, and I'm going to give you a bit of a flick through while I talk about it. I stumbled upon the Hush Tarot here in Hobart when I went to visit the Page and Cup, and I looked at it and I was immediately drawn to the cover, which, by the way, looks like this. There was something about the artwork that just immediately drew me. I felt that it was kind of like piratey in a way, like the artwork style reminded me of a book that I've recently read called Fable, and there was just such a remnant of that sort of energy and that essence. And so when I saw it, I just had to grab it. It is so beautiful. It is so unbelievably beautiful. It has this almost fae feel to it. There is animal energy woven through winged creature, lots of owl, and there's just such a beautiful melding of humanized figures and animal figures like little cats. That and peacock. Oh, just look, it's just so beautiful. I can remember opening it up and flicking through it as I'm doing, oh god, stop it, as I'm doing right now, and just going, oh. It was just such, oh, look at the Hierophant. I can't get over how absolutely beautiful. I think I'm upside down. I have been working in reversals with this deck, as you can possibly or probably see, and I've had a great time of it. Oh my gosh, we're everywhere. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't organize the deck prior to the flip through, but I've got to say this deck has absolutely stolen my heart with its aesthetic. I find that it is tremendously beautiful. My god, is it a profound reader. It just cuts through the bullshit. It gets to the heart of the matter, and it does so in a scholarly way. Very weird way of putting it, I understand, but there is just like this warm scholar energy, but behind that scholar energy there feels like there's a little bit of danger. There feels like there's a little bit of, you know, apprehension, like you should really pay attention to this, because despite the fact that it's being delivered in this warm scholarly manner, there's a little something to it. There might be some teeth behind this message, and that to me is freaking alluring. So Hush Tarot for the win. The next deck that I have been working with is a byproduct of my very own bone stone. Now, Anna made me this. We'd been talking about the bones of the bone stone once the bone stone was complete, and I wanted something in sepia. So as a congratulations for completing the bone stone, she had this one made up for me, which brought my idea to life. and it's a full sketch version of the bone stone. And I must say, I got this idea from Mary White of the Marielle Tarot. She once upon a time released a version of the Marielle Tarot on Etsy, and I wanted to get it, but I couldn't at the time. And I thought if I ever do a deck, I would like to do something similar there. So a big shout out to Mary White of the Marielle Tarot, a very talented tarot creator who has created one of the most influential tarot decks to me personally. So this is the bones of the bone stone, and it's a very cleansing energy that comes from this. It feels very bone dry, very to the bones. There's a starkness to this, and also a vulnerability that I don't feel when I'm working with the coloured version of the bone stone. There's something very ghostly, very spirit about the bones of the bone stone, and this is a personal working deck for me. This is something that I have been working with on those days where I need to cut through the confusion, bring clarity to a matter. It really matches the dry landscape that is surrounding me right now, because we are in summer here in Australia, and when we are in summer, rain becomes less and the heat amplifies. The UV index is extreme and everything dries out. So instead of lush green rolling hills, you have these sunburnt landscapes, and I feel like the bones of the bone stone perfectly, you know, nod to that, give it a good nod, if you know what I mean. Three of Cups, God, I love it. So that is the bones of the bone stone, my own personal little working deck. Not something up for sale, but thank you to Anna for creating it, and I'm really, really happy with it. The next deck that I'm going to show you is an oracle deck, and it is the Magical Herb Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy. Now, Sherilyn has just released the Green Witch Oracle, which is another botanical-based deck, and it is one that I've recently acquired, so I haven't had a chance to really put it to work right now. But I have had a chance to work with, there's the backing. Isn't that beautiful? Like, stop it with your gorgeousness. It's just, oh, that speaks to my Libra moon like nothing else. It is just stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Okay, so we have this layout. So, light border that doesn't intrude on the image. We have the image of the botanical, plus these little sticky tape pieces right there. And then we have the ghost of images, geometric symbols, and other, you know, poignant types of symbols within the background. So for instance, we have guidance, and we have a lighthouse in the background. And this one here, we have reflection, and you can see very clearly that there is a mirror, almost like this brocade style Baroque mirror. Clarity with the spyglass, and then healing with the gauze there, the roll of gauze. So this is a theme that sort of travels throughout the deck, and as such, magnet. It just gives you something extra to latch onto, especially if you are not very, you know, well versed on the healing or magical properties of herbs. So it has down the bottom here the Brahmi, so, and that's just focus, and then we have the binoculars, and then for purification we have burdock. And so this is also a learning deck, so if you're wanting to learn the magical properties of particular botanicals, then this one definitely helps. Because it provides you with the keyword, it provides you with the actual botanical, it provides you with symbolism, and then there's a great deal of information in the guidebook, which, despite the fact that it's small, it has these beautiful spells in them. So it really, really connects you to that green witchcraft, that green magic style. And because everything is in full bloom here right now, and I'm trying to understand my biosphere better because I'm still relatively new to the land. It takes me about 5 years to truly acclimate to my newer landscapes, and this is the first time that I am spending you know, living, not spending, but, well, yes, spending a great deal of time, but also living in a temperate climate like this. I've never spent this long in a temperate climate, so things still feel very foreign to me. And so, you know, I wanted to get a hold of this deck and start to work with it and really find that pull to the natural world, because I'm very interested in setting up a witch's garden and a medicinal garden for myself. And so between this beautiful magical herb oracle and also Sherilyn's newest deck, which is the Green Witch Oracle, I am very, very looking forward to playing around with that element, and it's just perfect for this time of the year. The next deck that I'm going to show you is the Light Sears Tarot by Chris Ann. This is such a hot deck right now. Look at that. Chris Ann is a beautiful friend of mine. She is just an incredibly thoughtful creator, and she has a heart of gold, this beautiful woman, and I am absolutely in love with the Light Sears. There is something very special. That's the backing. They're the edges. I love these green edges. So beautiful. But there's a modern edge to the Light Sears. There's a funky, cool kind of, it feels like that hip, sweet, artistic new age vibe. It feels very Byron Bay. If you're from Australia or you've ever been to Australia, specifically Byron Bay, this deck makes me think of Byron Bay. It makes me think of the Byron Bay Blues and Roots Festival. It makes me think of the beach. It makes me think of the beautiful modern hippie stores and just the general vibe of cafes and nightlife that exists there. But there is also this undercurrent of wisdom and truth, and it's very light and very nurturing. It's not pushy. It is a deck that will provide you with wisdom if you want it. It extends the information out to you. It gives you that wisdom and says, you know, with full respect for you, you do with this what you will. And it gives you that responsibility, and that's it. It's just, it's so thoughtful in that way. The color palette is vivid. It's beautiful. It's enticing. The art style is it's very approachable. It's very me in that sense. There's something about the art style that really genuinely appeals to me. Look at the Empress. Oh gosh. But there is a message and strong symbolism and a solid readability to the Light Sears Tarot. In fact, I would say that this is a deck that is perfect for those of you who prefer to intuitively read the tarot as opposed to immerse yourself or encumber yourself with all the tarot history and philosophy and meanings, etc. But yeah, the Light Sears Tarot, really loving it. It feels good for this time of the year, and it does come with a very, very decent guidebook. I had to reach down for it. So this is probably the chunkier of the guidebooks. Chris Ann tends to not do anything by halves. This is another deck that I've been working with, the Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. I'm a big fan of Fiona Horn. And this is her first Oracle deck, or her first deck full stop. I have been supporting Fiona as a witchy creator since I was in my late teens and early 20s. She's been around for a very, very long time, and she has really shined. And I've got to tell you, I didn't know what to expect from her first deck, but I've got to say that it blew me away. The Magic of You Oracle is definitely a personal deck. It's for those days where it is raining and it is cold and it's misty, and we still get those days here in summer. This is a photo manipulation deck, but the manipulation work is seamless. I did not realize that it was solid manipulation. There are moments where you can sort of pick out a little something something, but for the most part I think this is the best I have ever seen. There is this spooky, dark mother, fae, earth, soil, bone energy There's the energy of ritual and other world to be found here. There's the energy of spirit, of intuition, of dreamscape. This is a deck for deep immersive journaling. This is a deck for pure reflection. If you're game, you would pathwork with this deck, but it's not for the faint of heart. There is this earthly, haunting energy to it that you can't look away from. You just can't look away from it. So this is, like I said, a personal working deck. The guidebook comes with spells and with interesting pieces of information that, you know, link into the, I guess, to the energy of the card itself, to the sentiment of it, to the essence of it. Honor your mystical creative force. Protection. Set personal boundaries. And I find the messages of the cards are quite poignant, and they are perfect for right now. Oh, I love it so much. So beautiful, so beautiful. And an honorable mention must go to the Green Witch Oracle. I recently did an unboxing of the Green Witch Oracle here on my channel, so I'll link that in the cards. But we're not going to go too much into this one because this is, like I said, a very brand new deck, but it's perfect for this time. It's perfect for spring, it's perfect for summer. It just feels like sunshine. It just feels light, it feels vibrant, it feels fresh, it feels sunny and warm. And again, as I've previously said with the Magical Herb Oracle, it is a deck that will assist you in becoming acquainted with, you know, the magical properties of botanicals and working with them in a more concise green witch sense. So the guidebook is actually really beautiful. It gives you a great deal of information, and as is typical, you get a few spells. So this is a typical layout. So we've got a communication spell here with apple, oracle meaning, the cultivation and magical property. Cultivation is something that I'm interested in, so when I saw that that was included in this book, and I know that Sherilyn is a prolific gardener, I thought this would be wonderful for me to sort of like dip my toe into the world of like permaculture and organic growing and all of that type of thing. Alright, my beautiful souls, well, I hope that you have enjoyed this video and some of the decks that I have showcased here for you today. I tend to be very dedicated now to the decks that I work with. I tend to rotate in very small bundles. These are the decks that I'm using down here for my own personal musings, and I probably should have said that because in the top where I usually do my professional readings, my client readings and things of that nature is my full collection of decks, and I only have a very small collection down here. I bring a basket down and then I take it back up, I rotate, and then I bring new decks down and then I take it back up and then I rotate. So I'm consistently working with different decks depending on the mood and the season. So as autumn approaches, and I'm very excited for that, I will be doing another rotation. So if you would like to see another deck sort of share like this, you know, decks that I'm working with right now, seasonal decks, whatever, do let me know because I would love to share that with you. In the meantime, I'm wishing you so much love, luck, peace and joy. Take care, beautiful souls. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, share it, click that little notification bell so that you can be notified when I'm posting new videos, and take care of yourselves, beautiful souls. Much love and many blessings. Bye.